Look, I'm coming to you with an urgent message. Every single one of our followers, our fans, I gotta let you know something.
Oh, man, it's happening too fast. Look, people don't want you to be notified of what we're doing here. They don't want you to be notified when we go live. And then now you get sad because you didn't realize we were live and you missed all that information that you should. Oh, God, they're after me. Look. All you gotta do is click the bell. Just click the bell. And you'll be notified every time we go live. I promise you. Look, hurry up. I ain't got a lot of time. Let's go.
We are oppressed. We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights. So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy.
Hey, look how beautiful. Look how beautiful, man. I got an excellent and awesome surprise for y'all tonight, right? First of all, I want to say welcome to Unfiltered. Stop doing that, Anna. Just stop doing it, okay? I want to say welcome to Unfiltered. First off, I want to say that, man, both of my hosts for the night, both of them have things that came up. So keep them in your prayers. Keep them lifted up high. And just pray God meet the need wherever it needs to be met. Okay? Amen. So, like a good man always says, that the show must go on. So, it's ironic that the topic we had for the night was about why are kids, especially in schools, why it seems like it's so much anger going on. Why is it so where it seems like it's such a high high level of no patience, and it's like from 0 to 100. And we want to address that. And we was going to address this conversation from an adult point of view, but you know what? I got something better. I got something sweeter for everybody to see. My beautiful daughter. She is my daughter. She has a big coif of hair. It's underneath this skull cap.
I'm not taking it off.
Okay, and she's not going to take it off because she said that she had a big forehead. And when she did take it off, I ain't gonna lie, the forehead was big because she had to push back. But no, this is my beautiful 14-year-old young lady that I'm so proud of. And she about to be, what you say? No, she is 14 and is wonderful, complete honor student, athlete, and just all around just incredible gift of God from, for me. It's Rihanna Michaela Johnson. So we are going to do this show tonight. So of course it ain't gonna be that long because kids' attention spans only last about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, she talk about, it's ironic. She talking about eating, but we're gonna get right to it. So again, y'all know how we do it all the time here. Share, and keep sharing because we're gonna be interested topic tonight. And it is about the anger level in kids. So I'm gonna propose a question to her, but I'm just gonna let y'all know why we're saying this. We've seen so much of um, bullying, which hasn't changed. I'm gonna be honest with you. When we went to school, it was like that. Had that, some kids pick with other kids, and I mean, it's a strange predicament. I mean, it's really strange, and we had it for so long, and sometimes you just become accustomed to it because you saw kids get picked on. You may have been the kid that was picked on. Shoot, you might have been the one who was doing the picking. But now we are at a whole different era of things. I remember before we brought up that ever since 2009, we had in a neighborhood of over 300 school shootings. If that don't make anybody alarmed, I don't know what will. And the problem that I'm seeing more and more is that people aren't alarmed. And you can, and my daughter could be attest to this. And I want you to tell them what happened too, to the point, in your own words, because we need to hear it. My daughter, like I said, the biggest thing as a parent, my fear was ever since a lot of these things started getting started. Crazy girl, man, stay focused. Is the thought of you getting that phone call that a school shooting happened and it's at your kid's school. Nothing scarier than that. Well, unfortunately, I end up getting that call. And as I thought, I wasn't even ready for how my mind was mentally about to take it. But at 1:45, I got a robocall stating that Lincoln High School was on lockdown due to the threat of a teenager with a gun. I passed every red light getting up there. And once I got up there, I had to see over half a dozen police cars. And it was, like I said, my mind was going 100 miles a minute. But the one thing I did have that kind of helped alleviate some things was that my daughter did call me and say that she was okay and that the class, they was all locked in the class. In this case, no one was shot, no one was harmed, and they had got a hold of the individual who had the gun. So again, and I know I've said this on the show previously, I just want to thank the entire Van Dyke public school system, every single staff member at Lincoln High School, the Warren Police Department as well. They did an outstanding job at providing information and getting the situation under control and getting everything locked down. So that I want to say up front. Now, I want to speak to somebody that was there, which is my daughter. And you have a hands-on, you got something that no parent has. You are in school. You see the stuff. So what would you say? Let's start with this. First of all, say hi to all the people, because I don't think you ever said hi to all the fans and everybody else. Say hi, get your hands out your mouth.
Hi.
Wow. But let's start more places on a serious note. Woo, excuse me. When you was in the school and you found out, man, we on lockdown because they're talking about some school shooting, what's the first things that went through your head?
I was worried about everybody in the school.
You was worried about everybody in the school.
I started texting people to make sure they was okay.
And when you get those response, did anything, I know you say you worry about everybody in school, but did you have anything like internal with yourself that you was like, oh my goodness?
Not really anything. I was nervous.
Yeah, man. I know But did you see any of the other friends around you? Did they have any type of feelings, emotions, and things like that they shared with you?
We weren't panicking out. And then we saw videos of the cops going in and out of classrooms. I don't know. We all kind of got nervous.
And you know the one thing I hear that you're saying, you just kept saying it's the power of these things now. I mean it. We are in such a new technical age. A couple of people had cell phones like that when I was in high school. I had a cell phone, but it showing up wasn't this. You know, it was little flip phones. Was it the Razor? At the time frame, T-Mobile. It wasn't this. It wasn't nowhere near smartphones. I noticed you said people were showing videos of cops going out. So y'all pretty much, man, these things can be used in such a good way. I can't front this out. Phones can be used such a good way. But people use them so stupidly sometimes. But in this case, people were recording the cops going in and out of the classroom. Everybody knew about it really fast.
Yeah, everybody was texting each other. Coaches texting. The coaches were texting they teams and everything. Yeah.
That's cool, man. You can relax. She might be a little bit nervous. But did you have any thoughts of, like, wow? You know, some people, they talk about the thought when someone says, where like they had these flashes, you know what I mean? I can only imagine if it happened when I was in high school. And I went to, shout out Osborne, you know what I'm saying? And we was along 7 Mile. We thought things were bad when we was going to school. We heard shootings, people would, spread out, run, and do everything else. One thing that alerted, kind of made me feel like, man, this really is a different age with y'all. It's one of the girls that said, and I quote, she said, y'all doing the most. Talking about the cops, the police, and all the stuff. Y'all doing the most. It wasn't even that serious. Are kids really, like teenagers, like y'all really that, like, unaffected and desensitized by everything that's going on? Are y'all detached from that? Like, y'all don't, like, it's like, to me, sometimes I don't think y'all really realize how real things are.
Most kids don't realize it until it happens to them.
Yeah, that's just unbelievable to me. Now, let's go into another place, because when they brought the kid out, and we ain't saying names for obvious reasons about it, he came out angry, not scared, not emotional. He was extremely angry. And from what, in my daughter's school, they have this thing. What is it called? Abe's
Center.
The Abe Center, where it's really for students who they're trying to keep learning, but it's I want to say it ain't nothing but a expanded special ed. They're trying to say these kids have so many behavioral problems that we got to separate them and put them together. I don't know why would you think that putting a whole bunch of dynamite in one room add up to less explosion. That's me personally, and I work with kids I work with kids. So, in my opinion, I don't think it's the best idea. I see where they're trying to come from with it, where they're saying, like, we can't let them affect the learning of everybody else, which I understand that, because the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. But in your opinion, because it's Black History Month, right? And on our show, we are only celebrating Black history, but we're really talking about Black health and healing, especially mental health. What do you think is some of the reasons why kids, teenagers, y'all? Because I'll be honest, y'all got 10 times the amount of problems, the stress, the issues that I couldn't even imagine. Because it feel like y'all exposed to everything. Even when y'all was in elementary, y'all was more exposed to stuff than we were. So, what do you think is some of the issues, in your opinion, just from you? This is cause for so much, it seems like, anger or sadness and depression in teenagers right now, especially young Black teenagers?
Sometimes it's just hard to talk and find somebody who will actually listen, because sometimes when you actually try to open up about how you feel and what's going on personally, people might take it the wrong way, and then it just makes you feel like, wow, it's not even a point in trying to explain how I feel when people just gonna never see, like, even try to understand where I'm coming from.
I think this is probably one of the most honest answers I've ever heard from a teenager. Because I can see that. Because sometimes you'll have parents that think, like, shut up. You don't know nothing about no stress. You a kid and stuff like that. And when you're trying to come directly to somebody you love, a parent, somebody else, and all they do is dismiss any way you feeling, I can understand how you could be like, you know what, Brandon, I ain't gonna tell nobody nothing. And then you try to go maybe talk to some of your friends, and they ain't no helps, because how can somebody that's learning just like you tell you anything different, for the most part. So I'm really feeling you on that. Let's start with, because that's a really good answer. I really like that answer. I'm very proud of you. You must come from good genetics.
Yeah, no, but I didn't.
Whatever, you ain't no damn. As you can tell, she related because she thinks she got jokes. But let's start here. What do you think? Let's go. Wait. You just give your estimate, because you a kid. You are your eyes and ears to kids.
Okay.
What do you think is your guesstimate? Or let's start with girls, especially because you're a young lady. What do you think is the one thing that young teenage girls? We just name a couple of them. If you can give us 5, good. What is some main 5 problems do you see that contributes to maybe the depression with young black girls, and anger in young black girls? Let's start with one. What do you think one is? And I'll bring this out so you can. There we go.
Things that might lead to depression and all that.
Absolutely. Just for you, what do you see, honestly, from your peers, yourself, and everybody else? Because I think that the only way we're ever going to get over the hump to get healed is we find out what is hurting us. You know what I mean? Because you can't fix anything if you don't know what's wrong with it. How can I fix something if I don't know what's broken? So what do you feel as you as a young lady? That's why I said I want to start. Or you know what? Let's start with the boys. You outside looking in. What do you see are some of the 5 major issues you see that's causing the anger and depression with young black males? So just males, period. Young males, period. We'll start one at a time and then just explain them for us.
With the boys, I don't know, because everybody has feelings. Everybody, at the end of the day, everybody's gonna feel some type of way about something that's happened to them. And I think with boys, they put on such a act when they're around people that you look at them, you be like, "What's your problem? Like, why are you doing that?" But really, they just trying to hide how they really feel.
Man, okay, that's what's up. And I can tell you, as a young man, we did that. So I don't think it's really far off as much as we think it is. But you just said something that they always trying to put on an act, like trying to say, like almost like they trying to pull on a false, representative of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So why you think they put up that false representative? If you had to guess, you just out the blue. It ain't got to be. You ain't a doctor. You ain't gonna get sued.
It could be from people around them. It could be somebody telling them, "Oh, you shouldn't do this," or "You shouldn't feel that type of way because you're a boy. You have to stay strong," all that. But at the end of the day, everybody has feelings.
I agree with you on that. Oh man, I remember being, like you said, another young man. What's some more things you think? So one, they put it on. You say that it's a lot of putting on acts, trying to make it look like you're okay, instead of being honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, so what else other ones you think? Anything else that you notice from boys? The boys are crazy.
It's not really a lot. I think sometimes boys try too hard to fit in, especially when they're around a certain group of people.
Oh, so you just brought up something that, like you said, putting on the. You think a lot of, so for the most part, you think with boys, it's a lot of them trying to pretend to be something they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where a lot of their stress level you think coming from, or anger, because they trying to put on to fit in with certain people.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know what that lead me to? That you just thought about that. It's just that it's a man thing. It's a sense of belonging. You know, like just knowing that you got a group of individuals that you could be around, that you could feel comfortable being yourself around, and sometimes you do a lot of things that you may not know. And stop it. So sorry, stop it. And but you can do a lot of things that you just know that's the wrong thing to do, but you're doing it because I feel like sometimes guys have this huge misunderstanding of what love is and what it is to be loved, especially when you're thinking about the, you know what I'm saying, male to male, like that friendship love, like bro, I love you. I think it's really hard for guys when you're in middle school. And I can only imagine now with all this high strung, with um man, wow, I can't even imagine the pressure of that. Because they've made the phrase "love you, bro, no homo" so popular. Like they have to give that disclaimer after they tell somebody that they got a mass amount of respect for. That they say, man, I love you, no homo. And I tell the kids, because you know my daughter-in-law work with children all the time. And I did address that one time, like, you ain't gotta add that disclaimer every time you say, hey, Mr. J, love you, no homo. Like, I know you're not you know that you don't like men in a sexual way. You ain't gotta say that. But then I realized they're saying that because it's such a misunderstanding or a misunderstood way of how they feel that they're supposed to show love and affection. And that normally starts with strong male influence in your life. And this is where, man, my brothers that's out there just having kids, or you stepfathers to stuff and things of that nature, you have to be really, really cautious about what you are doing around your kids and what you're doing and what you're not doing around your kids. It's just incredible. Um, I don't like when people say that a father is needed to help a boy. No, a father is needed to help his entire family, just like a mother is needed to help the entire family. We got to stop giving these disclaimers like we got to separate, like the man can only help the man and the woman can only help the woman. That's a lie. That's why you're supposed to, when they got married, they say, man, be married, be fruitful, and multiply, because they have to see both examples, because you are the two examples of what a man and a woman is to them. And from there, man, it could be any way and anything possible. So I just, for the young man, I feel bad for them that they have to give this disclaimer, because they could have had an experience with a man that was molesting them. You know what I mean? And nobody ever know nothing about it. So now they really even more confused. Um, and that's interesting. I'm glad you brought that up, because that makes me really think about that. That is a really strong rationale for why a lot of young men are so angry and so get depressed, and they don't think about it, because they've been trying to find somewhere where they could belong and they could be with, feel like they could be connected to a brotherhood. And when your brotherhood, you got to do everything to impress them instead of them just for taking you what they are, man, that could lead to a lot of depression, especially when it seems like nobody even want to be bros with you. So, man,
That's even for other boys too. Yeah.
what about the girls? You're a girl, so you can speak more to girls. But what you said about the boys, retarded. But what you said about the boys is on point. That's a good observation. What about the girls? What do you see that's anger and making them more depressed? Why? So when you look at class, all right, let me ask you a question. When you see students lash out at teachers and other students, and you like, wow, it wasn't even worth that. What do you notice is that the central factors that always you like, man, why are they doing that?
It's just bottled up emotions. Because not every person, you're not gonna live your life every day and get mad at every little thing that's going on. So at the end of the day, you always gonna be holding stuff in, and it just takes the right person or the right situation to push that button and make you just let it all out.
So you basically saying that everything is like a powder keg, and if you know what a powder keg means, powder keg was just this big giant keg full of gunpowder with a fuse on it, and it just got lit. So basically, you saying that that's how most people are. They're like they right there on the edge, and then somebody just come along, say the right thing, and then bam.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's even faster now.
Mm-hmm.
You as a girl, what's some issues that make you say, this is pissing me off. I'm not there, or I'm getting depressed, or anything like that, or I'm feeling sad. What's some things that could get you to that point of feeling that way? I know it varies, but for the most part, it's underlying roots that the same. Do you think for girls it's the same thing, like a sense of belonging?
Yeah, they sometimes. I think girls do a better job of just, not trying to fit in so much. I think a girl will most likely go off by herself and be like kind of, not like a weird golf or anything. Like just somebody that, you don't see everybody with.
So you think for the most part, when it comes to just trying to fit in and to be with other girls, that for the most part, we ain't saying that they never do it, but they not really that route. They'll feel comfortable being like, okay, I'll just be a loner. I'm not going to do everything to be in that group of girls. Because there are a lot of girls that do that. All right. Now, what about the girls that do that? What do you see the problems with them that come in that make them be sad or, mad or, angry, more angry?
Because they spend all their time trying to fit in with all these other people that are they true friends just disappear.
Man, so basically you trying so hard to please the fake people that the people that's actually good with you and take you for who you are then fell off because you basically treated them like they was not, a priorities for the most part. Man, what about grades? Do grades play a part in I know that might depend on the kids because nobody wants to be. I remember before when we was in the class, everybody knew the person in the class that couldn't read is good.
Mm-hmm.
Or better yet, nobody wanted to get up and read in class because they was the fear of messing up or being in front of people and things of that nature. Or even doing problems at the board. Do y'all even still do problems at the board? Do y'all even use the blackboard at school no more?
I don't.
You don't. It's just weird, man. I know it's funny. What do you think grades, the pressure of school itself, grades?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If any, what pressures you think you might have with grades?
I don't think they actually trying to teach it because they move so fast with everything. It's like you get 2 weeks to learn something. Then right after that, you got to be tested on it.
It's interesting that you even saying that. You think that it sounds like to me that it's basically like, look, they doing more of like they want to teach you the way they want to teach you to do it. Mm-hmm. You got to learn that precise way, but you're not being taught how to solve the issue. You're being taught how to. It's almost like they teaching repetition. Yep. To a certain extent. And I remember not that long ago, I had a talk with your science teacher when he was in middle school about that. I'm saying, I don't agree with that. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not going to teach. I'm not going to tell my daughters it's wrong when I know it's right. Like, what they want us to teach it. No, You're not going to teach that way. I'm gonna tell y'all, and she can tell you, because she ain't gonna laugh about it, but I know I got her math teacher really pissed. Was it the woman? Was it the old woman? Well, no, it was a man.
You talking about elementary?
No, that was in middle school. No, it was elementary, was it? No,
yeah,
it was
Miss Norlock. That's what you
Miss Norlock, man. That woman should have been retired. And yeah, I normally don't say names, but I'm saying this name this time. Miss Norlock should have been retired. She said something that pissed me off. I'm like, my daughter is an all-A student. She had the nerve. You know what? She had the audacity to say to me. She said, well, Mr. Johnson, maybe your daughter is not as smart as she thought she was. I froze up I had a meeting. It was 3 other people there because I was like, I don't want to be in the room with this woman alone. Just for men, I'm telling you, men, like right now, I just look like a regular father, glasses on and everything else like that. But I'm going to tell you something that's going to save your life. Never be alone in a room with a woman and y'all having a meeting. Never, ever do it. It's a rule number 1 that I've had for years. If you have to talk to women, you need to ask, because it's within your right to ask, can we have more people in this room, including a male or another woman or both, so that it'd be no misunderstanding about what was said and what was done. Never have a one-on-one meeting with a woman by yourself. Don't do it. It'd be the worst mistake you ever made in your life. So I had this meeting, and everybody in the room heard her, even the principal, because I had a room with the principal, the vice principal, and another teacher. And they all cringed. And I held my composure. I was like, no, Ms. Norlock, you may not be explaining the process as good as you think you're explaining it. And I was on that teacher the entire year. My daughter had a B+ in the class, and then she finished up with what, A+ with 90%, where I knew she was at the whole time. I'm like, you're teaching I told her, like, my problem with that, and I know this off on the subject, but I'm a parent that go to school and I fight for my kid, especially if you don't play the game. You ain't trying to play me out. And I told her, I was like, you're not going to sit here and tell my daughter the only way that she could do the math problem or find a way to solve this problem is this. They don't do that in public. They don't do that in private schools. And they don't do that in any other school systems. And that's the problem with public schools. Public schools get their funding based upon the agenda they want to teach. And I'm like, oof. You are lucky that you're here. I'm lucky my daughter here. I would just be a rambling. Oh, you stupid. I'm like, but I told her. And what happened? I was like, no, my daughter's still going to learn it this way. Ever since my daughter been math, and you can tell her, she can sit here and tell you if I'm lying myself, that she's been in school. I've always showed her different ways to do math because I'm a math genius. And I'm like, bam, here, this one way. Oh, here you go. This is another way. Here you go. This. And then when I saw that she found a way that boom, that's it. I'm like, that's how you need to do it then. And guess what? Remember, there's all different types of ways to solve math problems. You just have to, what? Show your, what, animal? You got to show your work. You got to show how you got it.
You got to show it.
Bottom line. And that's why I told her, I'm like, because she got to a point where she could do it in her head because of how I showed her how to do the math. But I'm like, you ain't always going to be doing it like that. The math problem's going to be too big. But show your work. So even if you did it in your head, show the work and show how you got it. So she was showing Miss Norlock, and guess what happened to Miss Norlock? What happened the following year? She retired. Like I told them that I'm like, she obviously don't have the patience for kids anymore. She needs to retire. She even tried to come up. Remember, she tried to come up and tried to apologize to me and send all these letters and stuff. I'm like, it's fine. But I still don't want to be with you by myself because, no disrespect, not only are you a woman, you're an older white woman, and you can always say that the big black man came in there and intimidated you. It ain't gonna happen. If you're gonna have you're gonna send an email, send it and make sure that you have CC'd in it the principal and everyone else. I do not play those games. And Miss Kathy, that's exactly what it is. Old school, new school, show your work. But the problem with new school is they trying to teach people to do it like robots. Like you can only do it this way. I'm like, stop it. That's not true. So that's how it happened there. So I can understand that could contribute to the pressures and angers I have in there, the pressure to make the grade and stuff like that. Especially kids like you, who got ambitions for college. And like, look, you competing. So I understand that. Of course, I know y'all get stressed out because y'all got to deal with the opposite sex, boys and girls. Is there any pressures in regards to that? You know, we have that, like, if you know this boy think I'm cute, why does he talk to these girls but never talk to me? Is any you think those type of pressures go on?
Yeah.
Yeah, most girls.
Yeah, most girls. You know, now everybody think they gay, so
Hold on. So everyone, wow. So you say you would think that just about everybody in school think that they homosexual?
they're confused. They
They
don't
could,
know what they want. And
wow.
then the one I have no problem with a gay person. What's it called? LGBT.
LG. Yep.
If you're gay, you're gay. If you buy, you buy, and all that other stuff. Just don't make a big deal. Cause it's always you got this one boy in that school. He always thinks somebody's talking about him. We don't have a problem with you being gay. It's when y'all do too much. Like he sat up there and he literally told one of the boys, "Pull your thing out." And you think a boy not gonna get mad at that?
Wow. Wow. I'm sitting here saying wow because
And then they think everything is towards them. Oh, you laughing at me because I'm gay, or you're doing this because I'm gay. Nobody cares that you're gay. Just control yourself and watch what you say. It's all about respect at the end of the day.
and that's amazing that you said that. I'm loving this conversation I'm having with you. So it's basically, hey, do what everybody else is doing. Just be respectful.
Mhm.
Don't disrespect nobody. Nobody got a problem with you. And you know, and guess what? I'm telling you, that's like that when you get out here in real life because you see that. Because what? See that right there. Honestly, for another man to go to another man and tell him to pull his thing out, or even if it's a woman, tell you put that's really gonna be sexual harassment.
That's what I'm saying.
So that guy, and see, that's another thing that happened. So now you told this guy to do this, and now he looking like, man, what are you talking about? Now he under stress for that. But now you're like, so you're gonna act like that because I'm gay? Yeah, I'm acting like that because you're gay. No, it ain't got nothing to do with that you're gay. You told me to pull my penis out. If it had been said to a woman, that would have been an instant. Oh yeah, we got to give him suspended or something like that. So yeah, I understand that. That's really deep that you just said that. I'm trying to think of anything else. You know, there's always the pressure. I think when we was in school, a lot of kids played the pressure with sports because a lot of kids found out that was probably the only way out of school. You know, to try to get have a career. They're like, man, I got to perform this way in sports. I got to do this. Everything else is my way out. I got to do this. My only way out. I thought that was more with more boys than it was girls. Because they be it. They eat, sleep, and breathe it. And don't let them lose. It seemed like the only time men really do anything to show emotion is when they losing or it's sad. And I'm like, they need to know that you just don't, cry, get angry when you're sad or you're mad. I mean, you can cry tears of joy, and it's just so horrible the state that we got so much of our young people in. It's like we're not listening to them. A lot of parents, and I'm a part of this because shout out to me, I'll be 40. And how many days? 1, 2, 3. I'll be 40 in 2 days. And I thank God for it. Because I look amazing. Look at me. I look amazing. But two, is because so many guys, black males like me, they didn't make it. They in graveyards, they in prisons. And I had the same situations, the same environments that was around these guys. I always get offended when people talk about the east side of Detroit because that's where I was born and raised. Mac and Van Dyke, right there on the corner of Missionary Baptist Church, or we like to call it the Cop Church because just about all the police go to that church. And I just think about the penny candy store that was right down the street close to Sheridan down there. Not that too far off. You didn't think about it as a kid, but now you think about it as an adult. Not too far off down that way was Swanson Funeral Home on the boulevard. Then if you go too far back down, going like you're going farther east, you had Cantrell Funeral Home. It's just, for a moment you just realize, man, we surrounded what seems like a giant spirit of death sometimes. But you didn't realize it because it depends how your household was. I was raised with a big family and a household of love. Kids did kid things. Don't get me wrong. There was a lot of things that I had to do as the older brother at a young age that my mom had me do, and I understand that. And guess what? We didn't take it lightly. You knew it. Don't open the door. Don't do this. Don't play with the stove. Don't do any of these things. Where today, kids don't bite the dog because our dogs will bite you back. These dogs, they go to sleep. But now the obedience level is gone because when you got kids thinking they might be on the same level as their parents, because now the parents don't want to be kind of parents like, oh, don't call me Dad, call me George. I never let Bobby. We were talking about, but I would never want my daughter to call me by my first name, Randy or something like that. That's if we're in a huge public place and she lost or something like that, her big 14 or behind lost, or and we know I ain't gonna even just say because you 14, but it's pure. We in a big place saying dad ain't gonna do nothing, even though you know your kid voice, you ask and call out for things, but
I thought something else.
What?
Sexual assault.
Sexual assault.
Because people I think sometimes people think boys really just don't go through anything, and that playing sports is just something they want to do. Boys go through a lot, and I'm not just saying that because girls don't go through a lot. Boys go through a lot. Cause just think about it. You got a girl, she like you. You might not like her back, and it's not even like, oh, you ugly or all that. You just probably just don't like her the way she likes you. She can go off saying, oh, he did this to me, she did that, and it happened in our school once. So,
we'll speak to that kind of situation because a lot of people might not even know that, and this is coming from a young lady. And I'm glad you brought that up. Sexual assault, that can make a lot of guys.
That can ruin your reputation.
Ruin your reputation. Because like you said, once it's out there, it's out there. Mm-hmm. And it's just like it is in real life. She never thought about it. I just thought about that myself when you just said that. Like a girl saying, oh, he raped me, and found out that it never ever happened. And it's too late. Y'all realize that when you say those kind of things, it's dangerous. I know for a long, how can I say this? I'm saying this without being sexist, and I'm glad my daughter, first of all, I want to say thank you again for doing this and being honest and being transparent, okay? So I really want to thank you for that, because a lot of people would have just tried to play it like, I ain't about to say this, I ain't going to say that. It takes strength for people to be honest. That's why people lie so much, because it don't take no effort to lie. Mm-hmm. But to be honest and be straight up, you have to I gotta say it. It's the truth. Like some people really think that magically somewhere down the line, women don't lie no more. And I want to say thank you to all the women out there who step up and tell the truth, and the men who tell the truth. Just step up and say, man, look, I can't do, man. This the truth. This is what happened. And remove all this stuff, because when people start putting false narratives out there, I can't think of nothing else that's more stressful.
You see it even today. That's not even just in school. Even today, people years after, oh yeah, he did this to me and everything. Even if it's not true, I'm not saying, oh, she's just lying. It could be true. Maybe it did happen. But even if it's not true, you shouldn't do that.
Shouldn't destroy people's lives. You shouldn't destroy that. Not because your feelings got hurt. Not because feelings that you have for someone wasn't reciprocated in the same way. Because people do some things.
And then our society today, we're so sensitive, and we all sensitive. It's gays, blacks, white. Everybody's sensitive. You say one thing, so another protest that have to happen. Sometimes it don't have to be like that. You shouldn't have to protest for every little thing.
I absolutely agree with you. What do you think it's going to take to help give teens, boys and girls alike, a lot more peace, the safe space that they would feel comfortable with sharing their feelings? What do you think? What do you as a person, what would you like to see more of to help that?
I don't know. Because even with myself, when you spend all these weeks, months, years holding all this stuff in, you get to the point where it's like, why even sit down and try to talk about it?
So do you think it's at a point where people could be hopeless? Because I don't think it's a point where people could be hopeless.
Some, not all.
So where would they get to the point of hopeless? See, that's scary for me because you're 14. I'm 40. You haven't even been on Earth half the amount of time I've been here. Half the amount of time. So you think kids are giving up hope that easily? Do you think that kids just ain't got the fight in them that they're supposed to have?
Yes, huh?
Where do you think that come from? Where do you think it starts from? And be honest, where do you think it starts from?
I think a lot of stuff starts from in-house.
In-house. In-house, man. That is really good. Do you feel that you're at the point? Now we're making it personal now. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I wish I had my voice stuff on. Do you feel like you're at the point where it's hopeless?
I don't feel hopeless, but it's hard. It's hard to sit there and actually open up because somebody could just sit there and judge you and just take it the wrong way.
Wrong way. Now for you, because your in-house would be me. Have I ever made you feel like there's nothing that you can't say or nothing that you can never you can't communicate to me in any way?
It has for everybody, but it's more of a personal thing.
It's more personal. So do you think as a whole that you have what can you say? Do you feel that you've been given all the support and love and advice that you needed in your home life? Or do you think that it's some stuff that became lacking? I'm just speaking on myself. We ain't talking about nobody else because you me, I'm your dad.
I don't know. Myself, it's already hard for me to open up about what's really going on. So even the smallest little things can make me be like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to be by myself.
Oh, okay. So you can say it's just like that. I can understand that. I can feel that. Now, with this being tough, because this is real good. Because how often do we talk? How often do we? I'll say
every once in a while.
Every once in a while. Do you feel like that's got to be increased?
No, because at the end of the day, if you won't open up about what's truly going on, then the problem's never gonna get better.
Okay, so you saying basically, I could ask you every day what's going on. Which, how often do I ask you how you doing? Where you, huh? Very often, right? Ask you, like I said, school and everything else like that. No matter how many times I ask you that, you can still, as long as if you're not going to open up, then you basically saying it is not going to work if you don't open it up. I find that to be very, very honest because I think that's where most people are. I think to the point, as I remember being a kid and understanding Like it might be some things. You know what I realized as a kid? It's still gonna be things that you're gonna be uncomfortable talking to your parents with. I don't care what it is. I said that all the time. It's still gonna be there, and I think that's why. I don't know why. I just feel it's like it feel good, 'cause, like even that you saying this, but that we already talked, so I know where you at with it. You know what I'm saying? Uh, because I even talked to you, because I talked to you to tell you if I think that you did something to hurt me or where I'm at with it, because I believe that we need to be honest with each other. Because if, like I tell you, I said if you know what I say all the time when it comes to honesty, that if somebody lied to you, they what?
They don't love you.
They don't love you. The truth, the reason why I think when people say that phrase that the truth hurts, because it does. The truth does hurt. But guess what? Most cures to diseases, like when you get a shot to cure whatever's wrong with you or medicine, sometimes that first period, like when you pour peroxide of alcohol on a burn or something like that, of course that initial first time, yeah, it hurts because it's got to disinfect the germs and everything that's around it. So yeah, of course it's gonna hurt. So I do believe in that. The truth hurts because one is what you don't want to hear. That's the biggest one. Nobody want to hear that this, oh man, I can't believe this. That's why the truth hurts so much, because it ain't what you want to hear at first.
It's true.
Even if as you mature, it's still gonna be some things that you really absolutely want, and you want it so bad. Then somebody that loves you enough got to tell you the truth. And then once you hear the truth, now you got to understand, okay, that's the truth, and you got to, accept it and be willing to change from it. So, like you said, for yourself. And I remember I talked to you a long time. I've been talking to you for a long time. I told you about when I first started going and seeing a psychiatrist and things of that nature, and I had to do it. How do you feel about psychiatry right now? How you feel about therapy? Do you feel like every kid or every person should at least take that opportunity to do therapy?
Yeah.
How you feel about it?
I didn't like therapy. It's like, because I watch a lot of movies and I read a lot. So when you do all this reading and you watch these movies, all you see is, oh, they're going to this place to get help. They're giving you all this medicine or just telling you all these things. And it's like they brainwashing you. That way, when you get back out and you're not hearing or taking on the things no more, you come back to reality like, what changed? Nothing. Everything's still the same.
Now that's what you thought about it before you had to do it, or before you I said I want you to do therapy. Now that you're in it, how you like it?
It's good to have somebody to talk to.
There you go.
But then when you in it, you find out so many things about yourself, and you seeing things from a different point of view, like depression, all that. I used to think depression was, oh, I'm always sad and I'm moping around, I'm always doing that, and it's not.
You got people walking around functionally depressed. But remember, I told you for a long time, Dad was walking around like that. And you know what I'm saying? And I'm so happy. And the reason why he on here, and I'm so happy that she said, because I'm so proud. Give me a kiss. My girl. I'm so proud of her, because I told her, you need to have an outlet. You don't need to, not just mom, not just dad, not grandma, not friends. You need somebody that don't know you. That is no judgment. There's no preconceived thoughts. Because a good therapist, all they're going to do is listen. They're listening and they're letting you talk, because eventually, that's why the power of talking is. This is why so many people have such bad luck and get in such bad relationships, because your communication skills are shot, because you're denying so much. Communication is so important, because language, outside of love, language is that one thing that connects everybody. It's an understanding. You have to be able to comprehend. Because what's so powerful about when you learn another language, you're able to understand what someone who is speaking that language is trying to say. You're comprehending why they feel in a certain way. I don't understand, because that's the first thing you hear when you talk to somebody with a different language. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I don't understand you. I don't understand you. But then when you start to study their language, and you hear, you're like, oh, that's what it is. And now you can just talk with it so easy, like, like, como estás, like, muy bien, gracias. And you're trying to figure it out. But that's exactly what it is when it comes to your mental and your emotional being. It's so important. And I am so grateful for you. Hey, John, thanks. Miss Kathy, thank you. I appreciate it so much. I'm so grateful to you so much, man. Oh my goodness. Every day I'm so happy that she take heed to the things that God has poured into me to be able to tell her and just my life experience. So I'm really happy for that. And as you could tell, she got a mind of her own. And I'm not on a pedestal like what you just say about me, because I love the open conversation me and my daughter have. We've had this for shoot since she's been able to talk. I've always shot her real. As you can see, she crazy as a bag of stray cats, doing all this crazy stuff. But I'm proud of her, because when I first brought to her, I want you to do therapy. I want you to go to therapy. And you don't mind me saying this, right? That I said you need to have someone else to talk to you, not just dad, because it's some things a young woman don't feel comfortable talking with her dad about. Like, I can tell her all the things about what guys can do and how she needs to be an upstanding young lady, and show her in my actions, not just in my talking, how she should perceive and understand what the difference between a bad guy and a good guy, or good friend, a bad friend is. But it's a whole mental aspect of her that only God knows. We as parents only know a portion of, and it's real. Parents, do not be offended because you only know a portion of the mental and emotional aspects of your children, because you can only see, because you can't go inside of them. You can only see, because it's our responsibility to control our emotional and mental climate. I know some people, I want y'all to understand that what that means is that the things that I have around me, I am responsible for. And this is all that we can do as parents. You can say so much. You could give your children everything you want in the world. And what do you do? I gotta hurry up and get her fed, because she about to run out. We almost there. I can tell right now. She like food, food, food. But I'm gonna end with this, and I appreciate everybody here tonight, John. I always appreciate you. I'm glad you're out of Facebook jail, my brother. I'll probably be back in it after this episode. You already know. Parents, we gotta talk to our kids and understand that there's gonna be some things they don't feel comfortable talking to you about. And it is not any reflection on you. It doesn't mean that you're a bad parent. It doesn't mean that you're not talking to them. I talk to my little girl. I talk to my daughter every day. Huh? Huh?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Depression is real, and it's scary, and it's hard. It's really hard, especially when you try to admit to yourself that you have it. It's really hard. And when your kids don't want to talk to you, or just maybe not in the mood to be around, don't take it as it's just a teenage attitude. Sometimes you just need time to actually talk and work through stuff ourselves.
And you know what? I absolutely agree with that with you. Because in adults, we have that same time frame too. I think for so many years we've been saying some things when it comes to all that's teenage stuff and all this other stuff. And I think we kind of missed the shot on a lot of things, because we just kind of cast it off of, hey, they'll be all right. What has happened is that we've allowed that to go on for too long. because now, because of how much kids are exposed to more and more things, it's happening younger and younger and younger. Um, we had that list of I think it was last week on the last episode, or maybe 2 episodes ago, where we showed depression and the age levels, where it's common, uncommon, very common, and it's dropping. It's dropping to 11-year-olds. That's dangerous. A lot of things go to a lot of things. We got to be careful. One, be careful what you allow your kids to be exposed to as much as possible, especially in your home. I know they have to go out here to the world. We all do. But we got to make sure they are mentally strong going out here into this world.
And TV, because now they're making a lot of things and they're putting very strong and spiritual messages in them. And if you're weak-minded, can't handle it.
She said it. It's coming from a young lady. It's coming from my daughter. It's out there. It's some stuff. I even told her, like, it's some stuff that I shouldn't be watching. And we have to stop this do as I say, not as I do thing. Parents, stop that crap. Saying, I'm gonna do it, but you better not do it. Stop it. That's a cop-out, and that's garbage. It makes you like a hypocrite. And I mean, I'm gonna wrap it up on that one. For the most part, I thank you. My beautiful daughter, who I guess wearing this skull cap because she watched the halftime show and said, "I'm about to dress and listen to Snoop Dogg all day." Like, what I'm saying? Now she like, but no, baby, I appreciate you so much for coming on here and giving a point of view that we really needed to hear. And I'm telling you, you talked, and all your opinions were so intelligent. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yep, you can go eat your food. So, in all of that being said, tonight, next week episode, we are going to have our people back. Like I said, our host has some things come up, both of them. So keep them in y'all prayers. Absolutely, continue to pray for them. Matter of fact, I'm about to shout them out of prayer right now. I'm like, Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we just ask that you protect over and watch over both Mac and Felicia right now in the name of Jesus. We don't know everything that's going on, and everyone don't have to know everything that's going on, but we know that you know, Father. And Lord, I ask that you put your hands upon them, that Lord, that you wrap your arms around them, and Lord, that you meet the need as you always do, Father. And we asking especially for both of them. We don't know whether it's in sickness, we don't know if it's in any issues, but we know that you can do all things and will continue to do all things. And Lord, we touch and agree right now in the name of Jesus that in both of their situations, that resolution and blessing will come after all the dust clears. In the mighty name of Jesus, Lord, we thank you and we pray. Amen. So next week, Wednesday, 7:45, same time. Thank y'all. Love you so much. Again, thank all y'all for listening. I think I see my bro, Big Day. Man, love you too, bro. I ain't even noticed that in there until I started talking. Kathy, appreciate you. John, appreciate you. And everybody else, I see we reading. Now we just started. I started putting if y'all don't know, I got us on Anchor again. I'm doing a test run. This is everybody that's in. It's special for United Kingdom. And it's awesome, man. I'm looking at it right now. Man, I gotta go. One day I gotta go to United Kingdom. And oh my goodness, I gotta go to England, man. England showed me so much love.
I want to go there for the statues.
This is amazing. I'm really am in tears looking at this because they doing it they just hearing the voice now. They always came on here on the podcast, but they just hearing the voice, man. Man, I
think my Siri is British.
It could be, but I just know I want to give a shout out to everybody over there in England, man. Y'all come on Anchor. Y'all have been so good to my show, my podcast. And I thank y'all so much for all the love. Real talk. I'm choking up because I see how many it's over 300 y'all right now. and I appreciate y'all so much just listening. We've done this so much, and maybe it's even, like I said, it's because of my beautiful daughter that came on this bad boy tonight. Okay, well, it is. But I just want to thank y'all so much. So for everybody, man, I'm sorry, I'm messed up because of that. Because I'm looking down at the podcast, looking at the numbers, and it's incredible. And like I said, that's on Anchor. We're just doing it for them right now. It's a trial run to see how it's gonna go, and then we'll open it up over here because y'all got even more special because y'all got to see my face, and they still get to see it on Facebook and YouTube too. And, okay, it's hot, and she want to get up out of here. I want to say thank y'all so much. Thank you, Miss Kathy. Blessings upon blessings. Fifi, Matt, or Miss Hills, Mr. Reese. Man, God bless y'all. I missed y'all tonight. See y'all next week, everybody. Love y'all so much.